Hello, my name is Alyssa Hong, and today I'll be performing how to take on and take off PPE, which is personal protective equipment. I'll also be demonstrating how to do some hand washing along with disinfecting in healthcare and facilities. The first part of PPE is going to be hand hygiene. So I'm going to show you how to wash your hands. If you're wearing a long sleeve top, you're going to want to go ahead and roll up the sleeves. You will then turn on the faucet. You want to go ahead and turn it on to your liking, but to where it's not splashing on the clothing. I will then go ahead and rinse my hands. I'm going to apply some soap. I'm going to wash in between the fingers, around the thumb, I'm going to make circular motions into the palm to go ahead and clean underneath those fingernails. You'll want to go ahead and lather that soap around those fingers and around the wrist. And then go ahead and rinse. When you're rinsing, you're going to want to keep those fingertips downward so there's no splashing on the clothing. I'm going to get a paper towel and turn off the faucet. I will go ahead and dispose of the paper towel. And get another to go ahead and dry. I will then pat dry my hands downward towards the fingertips, making sure your entire hands are completely dry. And then dispose of that. The next part of PPE, I will go ahead and demonstrate how to put on PPE, which is the personal protective equipment. You're then going to go ahead and start by putting on the gown. I'm going to go through the arm here. And tying around the neck. Next, I will go ahead and tie around the waist. Tightly around so that way you are nice and secure and will not get contaminated while doing any type of patient care. I am next going to apply the mask. Over the ears and tightly snug around the nose. Last, I'll go ahead and put on gloves. You'll want to make sure your gloves are your size so that way they are nicely secured over you. You'll go ahead and make sure that the glove is over the gown so that there is no exposure of the wrist. Now I am fully gowned up and ready to work with an isolation patient. This is how to put on PPE. To remove PPE, I'm going to go ahead and start with removing the gloves. You're going to come in from out inward from the glove, if that makes sense, and remove that glove. With this same glove, you're going to go ahead and remove the next glove. You'll go ahead and dispose of your gloves. I am now going to remove the mask. Very carefully and expose. Next, I'm going to go ahead and remove my gown. Very carefully, I will remove the gown because I do not want to get contaminated. So I'll go ahead and untie. And untie from the back and remove inward from inside of the gown. And expose. I will go ahead and next show you how to do disinfecting in the next slide in any healthcare facilities. Another important way to disinfect your hands with not only hand washing, you could go ahead and use hand sanitizer. This is for if your hands are not visibly dirty. If your hands are visibly dirty, you're gonna go ahead and wanna wash your hands with hand soap and water. It is important to disinfect in healthcare settings because there's a lot of infections, bacteria, and all kinds of stuff going in and out. Colds, a lot of things that are harmful to people. So it is very important to keep those type of facilities clean by disinfecting high touch areas, which those would go ahead and be like doorknobs, light switches, bed rails, TV remotes for patients, bed remotes, important things like that that are often touched. It's very critical to go ahead and clean those areas very often. You could go ahead and disinfect those areas with things like disinfectant wipes, any type of disinfectant sprays. There's bleach that I know gets cleaned in patients' rooms. Those are very important for infection prevention, along with patient safety for coworkers, yourself and family members, and most importantly, the patients. And lastly, this is my last slide. I am just here showing a reference that I went ahead to use to find this information that talks about PPE and disinfecting in healthcare facilities. Thank you for watching.